All right. All right, and we're back in. Ooh, that is the. That's the wrong. Right away, like the first thing I do. I was watching Game Grumps. Da 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 da. That's. There we go, much better. That's an embarrassing way to start that. Alrighty. Hello! It's just Marzul here, but I am going to start this anyhow because I did zero advertising for the stream this time around, mostly because it's not like I'm making a revenue source off of this or anything. Just sort of putting stuff out there and having fun converting. There was somebody actually in the last stream who was asking about if we had a YouTube where we're going to store all the past broadcasts and everything. And yes, we actually we set up a YouTube. I said we, royal we. It's just me here, but it's my old YouTube from like maybe about a decade ago, where I was doing a Let's Play. Where I finished the Let's Play. So it's a bunch of old Warcraft 2 stuff. A little embarrassing, but we have the unedited VODs up, and we've got one very nice fellow so far who's been commenting and is real cool. And hopefully, if he watches this YouTube at a later point, you can see giving a little shout out. It looks like he travels around, and I think that's really cool. All right, so let's talk about what I've got on the docket for today. So first off, I made a little checklist because I like organization, especially when going into a big, massive, sprawling project like a conversion of a 15 plus year old, I don't know, it's like, 15 plus year old game. So today, I wanted to start by talking about mega dungeons, and in particular, dungeons in general. Mega dungeons might be the wrong word, given that we're talking about the dungeon at the end of Book 1 of Savage Tide. But I wanted to compare and contrast and talk about what doesn't work anymore. Because the design philosophy, like the game design of Pathfinder 2nd Edition is so radically different from 3.5, obviously. But it also changes how writers and designers approach, something so standard, something so, ingrained in the system as a dungeon. So, and then we've got a few things to clean up with the conversion. We have some stat blocks that still need to get made. I was going to do them on my own, but then I realized that wouldn't be too fun. And we can almost just close the book on Adventure 1 here. There is no honor. So hopefully we can get that finished today. So one thing I said, I didn't really advertise for the stream. I didn't put anything on Reddit. I didn't even put anything in the Discord. I had one hell of a week. I've been helping out with the family recently, which involved a lot of driving around to very, very far distant corners of Japan. And I had some dental surgery and the like. So it's making me, when I started doing the streaming, this was just like a fun, like, hey, I have some time to do this. When I started streaming, last week, I have some time to do this. And for me, Monday mornings and Friday mornings are great, which makes out for a fine Sunday night for some people, and a weird Thursday night, which is what we've got right now. Well, it looks like I need to get a root canal. It's been an ongoing problem with a tooth of mine. So it's Japan, so it's very cheap. They're like, oh yeah, root canal is like $5, over the course of 3 months, where I'll have to go in on Friday mornings, which is my streaming time, or at least what I have set up for the streaming time now. So what I'm thinking of doing is turning this little block of time into just a general GM design space sort of thing. Like next week I'm thinking about talking about how to make fun, interesting encounters that aren't just like slapping monsters out of the bestiary into a room and then just calling it a day. So yeah, but that's all sort of just justifying why this week I did not get as much done as I wanted. As a matter of fact, real fast, it's not the right approach at all. Actually, oh, so funny story. So I played 4th edition D&D a lot. And my prep time for 4E, when it first came out, I would make out everything and I'd carefully design what went where because it's a very tactical system. In that you could have controllers that would be, taking care of the battlefield while soldiers would be protecting them, and you have minions that would come in. Until I played more and more of the game, and I realized, yeah, I can kind of do this intuitively at the table. I'm just not going to prep for games. And my prep time for 4E was nothing. I would show up. I had my monster manual. What level are you guys again? Okay, great. And I'd just slap in 5 monsters from the monster manual. And that's an obvious sign of GM burnout. And I was absolutely burnt out of 4E. Because everything that I did to encourage breaking out of a gameplay loop just hit a brick wall. We're talking about design, and there are so many elements of Pathfinder 2nd Edition that come from 4th Edition. Especially a lot of the moving quickly through a day, not doing this constant, let's rest to regain our power, or the idea of wearing down, as I've talked about, wearing down resources is not there. As well as making encounters much more dynamic and interesting. However, especially when it first released, before they had the Essentials line, it was a slog in that players could essentially just have, this is a routine that works, and I want to do this routine, and if I'm prevented from doing that routine, then I'm just going to go into the worst possible routine. For instance, I had a player, he played a rogue, he was so excited about this character, and he had the old 1-2 punch, and it was also based on what items he had, where he would do nothing in all combats, essentially. He'd just kind of get up there, occasionally use his encounter power to hurt somebody, and then, go to switch to his at-wills. And then, when he came to the big fight, he'd use his daily power to knock out somebody, and then he'd use this, I forget if it was a shirt or a timepiece or something like that. It gave him an extra action, and he uses his next big attack, and he'd instantly kill the guy. And, when you're a GM, and you're trying to encourage, you have to ask yourself, where's the fun? And I not to shit on 4th edition. 4th edition, I'm sure, is still loved by so many people. I know it's very loved by a lot of people. For me, I had trouble finding how to get that fun, because my players, they really enjoyed when all of their abilities came together and it made them feel really powerful and awesome, but it made it pointless for me to design encounters. So I didn't. I just show up and here's the monster manual, boom, here's what you're fighting. I'm going to loosely tie a story into this. And I didn't really touch the pre-published adventures. We are going to look. Ooh, speaking of 4th edition, we're going to look at one. Yeah, exactly. PF2 for me, it fills that space that I want. And I tried to do it a lot in 1st edition Pathfinder. I was like, you could demoralize a guy and give him the shaking condition. And the players are like, yeah, but we could kill them. Yeah, you're right. You could aid and help your friend. Yeah, but I could just accomplish that on my own. So, yeah, Pathfinder 2nd edition hit everything that I wanted, which made for a very, this has been my favorite system to play in for a very long time, for a very, very long time. So, but yeah, this is what I've done, or we've done up to this point, and I did a lot of cleaning up over the week with what time I had. I think I had about an hour every day. Here's everything we did. The first stream, yep, wow, we did a lot the first stream. Where did we get off where did we leave off last time? I did add this chase. I fixed up all this took the longest time. I probably should have done it on stream, but this was the cleanup of the chase that I wanted to have after the thieves, the Lotus Dragons attack the players. They start to escape, and in the module it's just written, oh, they run away, and that's not That's not interesting enough for me. Did I not? I didn't. I don't even have my. I don't even have the module up. Anyway, I'll get that. So, what I did. Let's see. I added a hazard here for Nemian Roblox. And also I've changed around a few things, mostly because I gave him illusory creature, something I forgot was a spell. Instead of giving him summon monster, and now he's kind of an illusionist that also summons a monster to make it look like he made an illusory monster or one of them has come to life. You just give him illusory creature. Now he's in a taxidermy hall. We have this fun hazard where they're all roaring and coming to life while he's making his escape and warning the Thieves Guild. Did a lot of just the little bitty work of the various little bits of the Lotus Dragons Guild House. Cleaning everything up, that just took a lot of time. We made these together. Yeah. All right. Now, talking about what we are going to clean up some more stuff later. I'm going to skip over this for right now. We're going to get right back to talking about design in a minute. But I put in a double chase. It's the same exact chase, essentially twice. Could potentially happen in a game, and I don't think that's fun or interesting at all. I'm thinking just if the players have one chase, there's no need for another. They just catch the guy, or more. So the scenario in which it happens is the players are asking around with Lotus Dragon Thieves, and one of them slips them a note that says, "Hey, don't do that, or we're going to get you." There is the chance that it fails, and I said on stream, "Oh, we'll have that be a chase. If it fails, players can chase after him." And I think it's just easier to say, okay, well, if this fails, you catch the guy. Eliminate that chase that doesn't need to be. You don't need to keep iterating on this stuff, and that's likely the way I'm going. I also noted that our illusionist Nemian, and as I said many times on stream, I don't want him to fight. He doesn't want to fight. His goal is to warn the thieves and get out of there. However, there came to be a small problem in that if he warns the thieves, then what does he do? Is he just like, all right, guys, there's some people asking around about you. Just to be safe, I'm going to pack my bags and leave town. Not really. It does say that if a combat breaks out and he starts getting injured, he's like, whoa, I'm out of here. But this is the scenario and a kind of a likely one, that he just warns them. So what I included was that he joins a trivial encounter, but in that trivial encounter, he's kind of useless. He has a sickle that does no damage, and he's got some illusion spells, and no cantrips that deal any damage. So I'm thinking, just give him a cantrip, like Force Bolt or something. Give him a little something to pew around. Force Bolt. Yeah, anyway. And I have always said, when we do treasure, I'd like to give him a wand. And we have 4 Lotus Dragons, a Thief, a Bruiser, a Sharpshooter, and an Adept. I'd like to just, as a cleanup way, when I do the PDF, put them all in one space and just reference them, which will let me add items to them. Like, oh, use this stat block and give this item to them. Done. And yeah, general modern day AP formatting is something I'd like to look at. There is this problem of, we don't own this. We don't own the Savage Tide Adventure Path. That's still, I believe, owned by Paizo. I could not, for instance, make a one-to-one recreation of the entire adventure path in a PDF and then put it out for people. That would just be stealing. So what I do have to do is, my screen being touchscreen, what I have to do is find a format that I like, that makes it easy for a GM to reference, that also still kind of like falls in line with the AP formatting. For those of you who have looked at converted adventures before, I might be in the minority, because I know that people really love, Curse of the Crimson Throne was converted. I saw somebody doing a Shackled City conversion, and I really like them, but I want to find a format that works very easily. That I don't have to do so much searching between the two. I'd like it sort of just be, okay, your players are at this point, do this. You still want to have the reference to the original material, so you're not just blatantly stealing, which would be bad. So that's something I want to look at. All right. And then we're going to do 3 stat blocks, and then we're going to get right into more conversion stuff. All right. But I want to talk about dungeons, because you can't have Dungeons and Dragons without dungeons, for sure. And this is definitely true in the 3.5 days. Pathfinder, despite being Pathfinder, still needs dungeons for the most part. I mean, I'm playing Strength of Thousands, and we still have dungeons in there. The most non-combat friendly AP still has dungeons. But the way we approach dungeons has changed over the years. So you'll make note my list of dungeons here. Tomb of Horrors, for those I assume everybody knows, but in case you don't, Tomb of Horrors is maybe the worst dungeon to showcase in terms of like, oh, this is how it compares to modern day. Tomb of Horrors was designed by Gary Gygax to thwart players. It was not a thing to overcome, and I believe I was reading where he said he wrote it as a way to challenge these players that felt like they were invincible. It was a bullshit dungeon. And it remains a bullshit dungeon. And people still talk about it like, the crowning jewel of design. But if you really read through it, I don't know how many people have sat down and read through the original Tomb of Horrors module. It was probably a very good design back in AD&D. I mean, this was originally written for first edition, original D&D, Red Box, then AD&D after the whole legal fiasco. Ugh. But what we have here, what I've got pulled up, is the AD&D version by Gary Gygax. Okay, and I want to take a look at it. First off, if you haven't seen this before, spoilers. There's going to be spoilers for the upcoming kind of dungeons, but I think it should be okay. I love the artwork, by the way. The artwork is a bit out of date, but for me, it's so nostalgic. 1978, I think it was originally written for the for a tournament. It's a tournament module, and then reprinted in 1981. This module has been reprinted potentially more than any other. I'm not certain of it, but I was going to say mixed results, but all usually to just much worse. This is the gold standard, this reprint, I believe. So first off, blocks and blocks of text. I'm going to sum this up real fast. Not a lot of actual combat encounters, because combat was not the core of D&D way back when. The core of it was exploration, problem solving. I mean, it was originally designed. Chainmail was originally designed to supplement a war game. So you were supposed to be going into dungeons to find ways to open up, I believe, the portcullis to get your army into the base, and it sort of just got really popular. And anyway, the history of D&D is convoluted and old, and I love it, but I don't think we have time to just go into that. So there are traps and puzzles everywhere, and I'm going to talk about some of the reprints of this. What I want to focus on, besides this hilarious bit of, here's some characters you should use for Tomb of Horrors, and the note of, here it is, yeah, you should probably bring a bunch of characters with you, because they're going to die. And very accurate. Your characters were not going to survive this, because it was a bullshit dungeon. All right, so let's go through some of these illustrations. And when I say go through, I mean skip by. This is not what we're looking at. Admittedly, though, classic artwork. This has now been called the Devourer, apparently. I just always called it the bullshit trap. Okay. What we want to look at is this dungeon map, this layout. I would say spoilers, but this module is older than I am. So if you haven't seen it by now, ta-da, here's Tomb of Horrors. I want you to look at this and think about how this could work in 2nd edition Pathfinder. Because, I gotta be honest, if I were to remake, if I were to not remake, I would not convert, remake Tomb of Horrors in Pathfinder, for instance, this whole thing would have to get a lot bigger because it doesn't use something very important for Pathfinder, which is the 3-action system, which seems like apples and oranges when you just say it out loud like that. What does the dungeon map have to do with the 3-action system? Essentially, if somebody can move 25 feet with 1 action, 75 feet with 3, all of this space is suddenly much smaller. And importantly, if you have and are encouraging player movement in combat, you need to have larger areas. Yeah, exactly. Exactly. Because I'm going to talk about that when we get into. I've got Abomination Vaults open up here. And I was also surprised because in my mind, it definitely works. But there were some things where I was like, oh, smaller than I thought, actually. Yeah, we want to encourage player movement. We want to encourage doubling AV in my games. Yeah. Oh, that's a good idea. I'm trying to think. I think after you get to level 4, everything kind of opens up. There is one section, I think, floor 9 or 8. It's massive. I think I was so excited to get to that point. I didn't. My group, sadly, in Japan, groups fall apart quite easily if you just have a bunch of foreigners and people go back to America. So, yeah. Well, we'll talk about that. This couldn't work because the design for Tomb of Horrors was not, all the players are going to kind of fight and engage with things in here. No, it was going to be solve these puzzles, avoid these traps, and survive. There are still traps that I love from Tomb of Horrors. 100%. There are some puzzles that are... Is that grid 5-foot squares? Yes. This is 5-foot squares. Does it say... Oh, no, I'm sorry. Well, don't I look stupid? No, these are 10-foot squares. 10-foot, that's my bad. They are 5-foot squares. Or 10-foot squares. Still, everything I just said suddenly just disappeared. But it is still tiny. I think I'm suddenly getting a flashback to running this in 3.5, which I will talk about that. And I think that I did it in 5-foot squares. That's bad. But no, the goal of Tomb of Horrors is antithetical to Pathfinder 2's design, which is you want to have these dynamic encounters. At least I believe so. So this wouldn't really work. I want to jump to 4th edition Tomb of Horrors because I think this demonstrates 4th edition and it also demonstrates what its focus was and why they very wisely avoided just recreating Tomb of Horrors and converting it directly. So first off, for those in the know, 4th edition went from level 1 to 30 with heroic levels. I'm going to get this wrong. Heroic levels, paragon levels, and then epic levels. And weirdly, this goes from paragon to just the start of epic. And given that the enemies they face off with at the end of this, I was surprised, but I guess mathematically it makes sense. My group only ever made it to Paragon, I believe, after even though we played for years. So first off, how big is this? Does it say? Yeah, here we go. 159 pages. Very, very big. This is not just that one-to-one recreation, like I said. First off, getting through the introduction to it. Here's our first, dungeon. Okay? You'll notice... Way bigger, even accounting for me getting it wrong in that everything is 10 feet. This is much more spread out, much more, you've got more room to maneuver. I believe that most everything did not have a tax opportunity in 4th edition. It's been so long. It has been so long. So, just like Pathfinder, we are encouraged to move around a lot more in that game. Now, for those who have not seen 4th edition, especially if you haven't GM'd 4th edition, I am going to show the part that I do not enjoy. I loved it when it came out. I thought it was the best invention ever. I think James Jacobs on the forums talked about this, where it was one of the most stifling design choices that they had at the tail end of 3.5 and that they kept in 4th edition. I believe it's called the Delve design. I could be wrong. So what it did is it put an entire encounter and it gave it its own page to tell about how the GM should run it. Which feels, as somebody who really just likes to do his own thing, stifling. You have a map of the area. You have the tactics. These look like they've gotten a lot smaller. I think the first pre-made adventure for 4th edition literally had round by round of what they do. And I mean, look at it's so very interesting to me going back to this design. Boy, I was so into this, and I can see why. Is it just video gamified? Oh, I don't want to use that word because everybody uses that for an edition they don't like. It turns it into a simple video game that anybody can. But there was some simplicity to it that was enjoyable. It stopped being interesting for me. I mean, look at this. These are encounters that are really big and spread out. And looking at it, man, it looks like a lot of fun to run. We do event like this keeps going on and on and on and on and on. You can see where this became a problem, though. Okay, because if we go from Tomb of Horror here, which is I don't know how many pages, not much, but we've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, we have 8 rooms on one page, and now we've got a singular room on one page, or possibly even 2 pages, here. The costs for producing that book are suddenly way higher. And obviously that focus has shifted from solve this puzzle in this interesting way to solve this encounter in this interesting way. 4th edition was much more combat heavy, obviously, than original D&D. All right. There's a part of me that wants to go through because we do get a little, not a shout out to Savage Tide, not even a wink or a nod, but a coincidental. I just kind of noticed it as I was going through this morning and went, oh, interesting. Don't mind me going through real fast. We do get the original Tomb of Horrors here. Do they update the squares? Look at that. They don't. They got this wrong too. Look at that. 1 square equals 5 feet. Well, look at that. It extra doesn't work with 4th edition. That's very interesting to me. Also, they changed the Hall of Mirrors here. This definitely is wrong. This can't be right. Is that right? No, I gotta see this. No, that's how the Hall of Mirrors works. Oh, well, look at me. The Hall of Secret Doors. Which, by the way, no matter what edition this gets converted into, this puzzle, this trap, does not work. Because I've yet to see any GM run it like original D&D because it doesn't make sense to. You might find the secret door, but which way do you open it? Do you open it from the bottom up? Do you open it from the top down? Do you open it from the side, right side, left side? It was just a time waster. And when I did this in 3.5, there was on Wizards of the Coast website, they had a 3.5 conversion. So excited, got my friends, got a bunch of Dr. Pepper, went over to my buddy's basement, of course, ordered pizza, sat down, I said, this is Tomb of Horrors. And you guys have all made a bunch of characters. Are you ready for this? And my 3.5 players, of course, was like, yeah. I'm playing a vampire cleric. And I was like, I'm sorry, what's happening? And he just gaseous formed through the entire dungeon. And I was like, yeah, things have changed since then. Anyway, so the one thing I wanted to show off, the little nod we're going to be getting, the little coincidence that I enjoy, we do get a fight against an aspect of Orcus here and an aspect of Demogorgon. I do not like 4th edition's Demogorgon design, but that's me. Where's my show my we'll be right back, but this is the Demogorgon I like. I don't know why. All right, there we go. Okay. So anyway, that's our 4th edition. You can see the change in dungeons just because of the emphasis that the game places on something differently. Which brings us to 3rd edition. And the famous Sunless Citadel. I assume, probably, I was going to say I assume that everybody knows this adventure, but I think I would be very wrong in that assumption. Sunless Citadel, much like Fall of Plaguestone in a way. No, that's, I mean, I was going to compare it in that sense, in that it came out right along with the release of the game, but it didn't. There was actually another one that came out before that, technically. But we don't talk about that. We forget about that one. I looked at it very briefly. I never ran it. I actually never ran Sunless Citadel either. I ran Forge of Fury. Talk about that. So yeah, this is the dungeon encounter, the dungeon module that also gave us a Chardalon. Sort of. This is the starts of the hints of a Chardalon for those who know a Chardalon. But let's look at this map. Okay, this is, first off, these are 5-foot squares. It's tight. We have more room to move around. But 3rd edition's design ethos has changed. It's not doing, obviously, it's not 4th edition yet. It's not doing the interesting, varied tactical encounters. No. We're not doing the puzzle solving being the sort of reward, the gameplay. In terms of, old school D&D. So what do we have? Well, we have a lot of rooms. And those rooms are populated. But you can't fill up page space with new monsters because 3rd edition, they still put all the monster stat blocks at the back of the book. Or not all of them, but, So what they did do, and what is going to be a problem for us moving forward, because this is a design that stuck over and stayed around until 3.5, thus Savage Tide, is they filled it, going through, with just small, tiny, weak encounters. Here's a room, an encounter level of 1/2, so a trivial encounter, where you fall into a pit, and then there's a rat at the bottom of the pit. That creature gives you an encounter level of 1/3. If anybody would love to hop on the stream sometime and talk and explain encounter levels, and then tell me how they worked, I would love that. Because here's the thing. Encounter levels absolutely didn't work. They didn't do anything. Much like I believe that building encounters... I've been told... Everyone says that building encounters in 5th edition is broken. I don't know. I hate to say it. I after playing D&D my whole life, I don't play 5th edition. Encounter levels were supposed to give you a general idea of how difficult an encounter was for your players. If your player's level 1 and they go against something that's 1/3 encounter level, yeah, probably wouldn't be too hard. I mean, falling down a hole and fighting a rat, yeah. But this also poses another problem we're going to see converting stuff. 3.5, yeah, they all follow, yeah, exactly. That CR encounter level system, oh my god. Yeah, and Pathfinder 1 had it too. I would give people what I thought was like an incredibly challenging encounter, and then they'd disintegrate, move on, and then they get stuck on a door or something, I mean, as much as I love Pathfinder 1st edition, I could definitely see its flaws now. And I'll probably see 2nd edition's flaws later on. I still see a few where I'm like, recall knowledge feels weird to me. Stealth can be confusing. As we were talking about today in the Discord. So, here's a problem we're going to be facing a lot of when converting older modules. This right here. A trap like this, where it doesn't, this is, the role of this trap is to indicate that the rest of the dungeon is going to have some traps in it. If this does 1 point damage, it doesn't do anything. But we'll be getting traps like this, where you step on a pressure plate and you get hit with an arrow. Okay, why is that bad? Because players in 2nd edition Pathfinder have the ability to just say, oh, we will heal that. We'll spend 10 minutes and we'll heal that. They could be very interesting if you design an adventure based around having to keep moving, where time is of the essence. Okay, we took an arrow, we just got to keep moving. But we're not just ticking off HP. If it doesn't happen in an encounter, a lot of times hit point loss doesn't really matter so much. So we have to take that into consideration. Yes, exactly. If you're using simple hazards in bees, it's bees. Love having you here. Sorry for everybody else, but they don't get the same bees treatment. Simple hazards in Pathfinder 2 is really challenging. You either have to make it a life-threatening hazard that goes off one time. Age of Ashes has the one trap. Age of Ashes has a few traps like this. Referring to bees as a simple hazard. That would, you know what? Yes. Who am I gonna? I haven't put up the Follow Plaguestone recruitment thread yet, but whoever I am getting in there will have to deal with bees. I promised a slot to Bullion Bear. I'm not sure if they still want it. I promised a slot like 2 months ago, so we'll see. What was I saying? Yes. So either, like in Age of Ashes, there's a chest you open and it's a spear launcher, and it could just absolutely knock somebody down. It still isn't too effective because, you fall down to dying and are wounded. It's still fixed by a medicine. Which means it's only a trap that's going to get people that aren't prepared. Like, our team has nobody with medicine and we have no healer's kit. There's also, I don't know if this is a simple trap. Yes, the Age of Ashes has the door that you touch and die. I feel like I'm giving spoilers out, but for book 2, there's a door you touch and you die. Yeah, that's where massive damage rules come into play. We've got Sola in chat, the only person I've killed through massive damage. So, no, that's a lie. I killed somebody with massive damage in Pathfinder 1st edition as well. Yeah. I charged them with a lance and I got a crit. That was poor Adelaide. Yeah, I've got to work on prepping up my my society material. It's sitting there. It's sitting there, just ready to get prepped up. And I mean, this week I was driving all around Japan. Had a dentist appointment yesterday. I had an appointment in the city yesterday, and tomorrow the weekend comes, and I made a bet with my wife and I lost it. So, speaking of, make this a quick side. My wife is pregnant, and I made her a bet. I said, I bet you we're going to have a girl this time. And I lost that bet, and I bet her a cake. So we're going to the city where I'm buying her very fancy. Ooh, I wonder if I can just Google this real fast. I have to Google in Japanese. I'm so curious what I would find if I do that. Kirifeben Sendai. I'm trying to type real fast. Kirifeben. I live in Sendai, by the way. No, I'm not going to. This is... Yes, it is congratulations to me. I am very... to me, I am so happy. Kirifeben. Febon. Here we go. There we go. So she wanted to go to this bakery. Yes. So I bet her that I'd buy her a cake. I would say... Can we see these prices better? Can we open image in a new tab? This is a stream everybody tuned in for, right? For this cake, that's $100 US. That is actually, vanilla mousse. It's a vanilla mousse tart. Oh, it's a peach vanilla mousse tart. Oh my God. So I am excited. These are expensive cakes. I made the bet, and I'm obviously sticking to it. but it's also really tasty. This is just their peach. It's peach time. This is just their peach. This is not peach time. We're moving into mango. We've got mango in season right now, or at least they're selling mangoes. But they've also got, oh my god, look at these. Look at these. So I go there, and we've been like 4 times. This place is killing me. I have a nice little coffee. I get a little tiramisu. Ooh, so good. They have a lemon tiramisu. I don't even know what that means. Friendship ended with peach time, mango time. Oh god, my wife. So I love mango. I love mango. Went right into the Japanese pronunciation. I love mango. But on a cake, I don't know. I'm not sure I want a mango cake. What is this? Is there a yogurt mousse? Yeah. Oh my god. All right. I got to stop looking at these. That's tomorrow for me. Also, if I go and get a cake for my wife, that means I will. Whoop, spoilers for what I will be looking at. That means I have to get some cake for my son, and my mother-in-law is coming too, and I need some coffee. So it's going to be a very expensive outing, and I will assure you all, I don't have money. It's just no money, but you make the bet, you stick with the bet. Okay. The other thing, and I want to talk about this for me more than for the actual conversion. This was the first adventure that I really, really played. It starts at level 3, technically ties into Sunless Citadel, and I want to look at this dungeon because in my mind, this is almost always where every dungeon goes because it's the most perfect dungeon in my brain, purely because of nostalgia. I'm sure there is somebody out there that's like, wow, the Forge of Fury is actually a really poorly designed dungeon crawl. I don't care. For nostalgia's purposes, I love it. Essentially, there's a bunch of different ways to get into this dungeon, which we do see in the Lotus Dragons guild house. But again, we're back to these kind of small areas. We're back to these rooms that are... Well, this is interesting. This is another thing I want to talk about. I was going to say these rooms are close together, but they're not, are they? They're a little spaced out. Encounters tend to be farther away from each other in Pathfinder 2nd Edition. Okay? It's not like, oh, we've just decided to make our maps bigger and put encounters farther away from each other for no reason. Instead, the math works for one encounter at a time. And it is a side effect of the math working is that when you add more to it, it stops working. So, 3rd edition, 3.5, it was sort of there as like, yeah, if the players end up getting more like monsters to fight, they have to deal with it. And that's just their problem. And I wouldn't say like the math worked, it's just that the players could handle it. The math doesn't work out that way in Pathfinder 2nd Edition. If you're fighting a severe encounter and another severe encounter comes, you have a real problem. As I have demonstrated to my players, and I talked about this with the Slithering players, and with the Strength of Thousands players, and with the Agents of Edgewatch players, because they all fought oozes. This is the problem with oozes. I love oozes as design. If you are a player and you recall knowledge and you learn about how to fight an ooze, you can tactically take one down without taking any damage, and they make for a very fun encounter. If you are not that kind of player, which a lot of people are not, you will kill yourself very easily. You go, okay, ooze, run at the ooze, hit the ooze. Ooze splits. Okay? You now have 2 oozes with half-life that deal the same damage and have the same actions. Like, okay, so what went from a moderate encounter suddenly became a severe encounter because of that split. You split them 2 more times, and you have 4, for instance. You went from a severe encounter to an extreme encounter. So, the ooze is the weird laughs in electric arc, and then you hit the ochre jelly. My God, oh God, oh yeah, an illusion. See, the Slithering I wanted them to make more games like that with limitations. Okay? No humans! It's a weird limitation, but it's a limitation. I like the idea of limiting player options in order to tell a story. But they really should have opened with that there are certain choices that aren't going to be as fun. There aren't even, I mean, it's the first book. It's the first chapter that's really ooze heavy. And then it stops being that, which is a shame. I shouldn't say it's a shame. It's that you cannot make an entire module that's just oozes. Your players will riot. They'll be like, why? I don't want to fight another ooze. You either figure it out or it's a horrible slog. And if you figure out, it stops being fun the 5th time you do it. And if it's a horrible slog, well, good God. So, what was that? I know who wrote that. Oh my God, who wrote Slithering? He writes everything. I'm gonna cheat. I'm gonna look it up. Adventures. I'm checking my big list. All right, Slithering. I shouldn't be like ADDing on you guys right here. Ron Lundeen. He's moved over to Wizards now. I think he's Wizards now, which is a shame. He made the jump at the wrong time. He made the jump right as they got into all their hot water. Eesh. All right, so yeah, Forge of Fury. I like it. Everything worked for me here. I also love these old maps where they were just making up stuff to put on the key. What we got? Floor 1, floor 2, floor 3, 4, and 5. And I believe it took you from level 3 to level 4. I could be wrong. Maybe 3 to level 5. So I've fully converted Sunless Citadel. All done. I haven't released it because I don't think I like it. Mostly because the design of Pathfinder 2nd Edition does not grok with the design of 3.5. And Forge of Fury, I should probably convert next, but now Savage Tide is much more appealing to me. And time is, unfortunately, a limited thing. Anyway, I say all of that to look at Abomination Vaults. Just the maps, real quick, huge rooms. Comparatively to what we came from, huge rooms. Very spread out. Just turn off the secret doors. Turns off the whole grid, probably because I'm doing it in Chrome. If anyone's playing Abomination Vaults, just forget this. Secret doors off. Great. Didn't work at all. Much bigger rooms. We do get some classic dungeon crawling, but everything is much bigger. Things are still spread out. Well, kind of close to each other here. I look at that. I speak and I'm wrong again. But there are reasons for things not to join into combat, or if they do, it's accounted for in the math. Or, that's a room that has only one creature in it and everything else is far away from it. Counters are kept to themselves. Say all of that. Whew. And here I am, still having forgotten to put up the actual Savage Tide AP. There we go. I say all that to bring us over to Savage Tide, which still has these problems that we might have to deal with. If I were converting this the way I want to do it, not that I'm not doing it the way I want to, converting it in a way, in a perfect world, where it's like, I have all the time, I can convert this for my home game, and then I can give it out to everybody to use as they want. I would kind of do a remaster and just go through everything. I would break down this dungeon, which I'll show here. I would turn this into one. We essentially have a few big sections. The Crucible here, where the players are going to get shot at for just coming down. Torture, like this, is just, there's a lot of verisimilitude. This is where they live, but we still have patrols, and we have the, torturer up here. We have the section that shows they're dealing with the things that I cannot pronounce, the ichthyals. I need a marine biologist in here to explain how to say that. The manta ray monsters here, and they're kind of smuggling. We have the kitchens, verisimilitude, and training halls. and then we have the boss's quarters. So 1, 2, 3, 4 major areas. And I'd break it down into something like that. Okay, and eliminate a lot of this smaller stuff, make things bigger. That's how I do it. A full remaster. But that's not what we're doing. We're doing a conversion. So we have to kind of stick to that. All right. Well, that was a lot. I just spoke for about an hour about dungeons, and I'm so sorry. But thank you for sticking with me that long. All right. So I talk about a boop, 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 boop. This is weird completionism. I'm going to clean up later, but I will be probably taking out one of this double chase that I wrote in. I might be giving Nemian a cantrip to let him deal a little bit of damage, because he will now, as I've cleaned up, he will come down here should the players kind of chase after him, and he'll go warn the guys here at D2, and they're just 2 guys with crossbows. They are going to get easily taken out by the players. So he can join them and provide a little bit of support for them, which turns it from a trivial encounter to, I think, a moderate even. But given his stats, maybe a low. I'll have to look at the numbers there again. Okay. Sidebar, talk about Lotus Dragons, blah, 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 general cleanup. Good. Now, what I want to talk about, stuff that I'd love to do with you guys on stream. We have stat blocks here that don't have easy conversions. Okay? One of them, so I should say, I went through and I finished up the dungeon. Because it was all just little dumb, tiny cleanup stuff. The secret door's DC is 18. I have to convert treasure. Discovering letters is this, and stuff like that. Small. So, didn't need to get done on the stream. I could use that time valuable, that time in a valuable way, like looking at cake and talking about mango. What's wrong with me? And you can see where I'm checking things off as I'm converting them over to the clean dock. Whew. This is a process. All right. Now, first one I want to talk about, and I want to get some input on. Here we go. Something I don't think I mentioned. Obviously, I wouldn't have mentioned it. We have our guard room here at 29. Where did I put my picture? Oh, you know what? I know what I put. Did it? Put it. Still in Japanese. Where post I make here? I have -3 points. That's terrible. I don't know what that even means. Okay. There we go. Are people just downvoting tokens? All right. There we go. Now I can look at this a lot easier. Whoa. All right. So right here, this little room over here, these sections of rooms belong to Rowan Kalani. She is the leader of the Lotus Dragons, and importantly, and if we do get there today, it will be important, she is the daughter of the Kalani family, a very prestigious, noble family in the town of Sasserine. She has a guard, and her guard is a bugbear zombie. Now, in Pathfinder, zombies are zombies. That's it. Yeah, it's an orc zombie. Use the stats for a zombie. Yeah, it's a bugbear zombie. Use the stats for a zombie. Okay, one singular zombie does not a fun encounter make. Even if I went and found like a higher level zombie or made a zombie elite or gave it a hazard as well, it's not very fun as an encounter unless we make it fun. And making a unique zombie would be kind of interesting. So, taking a look at the actual story here, Rowan purchases Wand of Animate Dead in the black market. This becomes a thing with her. Wand only had a few charges, and enough for her to create this room's guardian, a zombie created from a bugbear named Xanther, who once worked for her as a bodyguard. She executed and animated him when she learned he was stealing from the guild. Okay, so, he has some story to him. His role in the adventure is incredibly minimal. He's there to buy some time for Rowan to get ready and prepare for the players. And we'll have to remember that when we start doing Rowan's stat block. And here's Rowan, by the way. Again, Noble into town assassin. She has a pet, crested feldrake, which is another thing we'll have to talk about because they have intelligence and they can get class levels, and we'll have to make one of those too. Is my hair looking sufficiently maddened? There we go. No, not at all. All right. There we go. Let's take a look. Don't zombies have some special abilities? Yes. Yes, they do. And let's talk about that. Let's talk about that. Let's talk about that. Sorry. When you start talking a lot, you realize sort of these verbal tics you have. Like, oh no. Okay, yes, yeah. Look at all of these zombie abilities we have here. Bestiary 3, in the Book of the Dead. So we have a lot we can tack on. We have a lot we can put on there and make it very interesting. We want this guy to buy time for Rowan to get ready. Persistent limbs. Let me see here. Persistent limbs I'm feeling. Here we go. Anytime you're critically hit, a limb falls off its body and continues to attack. That's cool. That's cool. Yeah, I like that a lot. You critically hit the guy like 3 or 4 times and you're like, wait a minute. What's attacking us now? His ears? Oh my god. That's what I get for critically hitting with a dagger. It really should be hurting more. Alright. Yeah. Here we go. Monster tool. First off, I'm going to do something I don't often do. Okay? Oh, the tags don't go there. Let's make him a unique zombie. We cannot make zombies with animate dead that stick around. We need the ritual for that. So she has access to money. She could do an animate dead ritual. We can just say there's a critical success. This came out to be quite an interesting zombie. Zombies are they neutral? I feel like they're neutral, but maybe they're neutral evil. Where's the zombie family? Let's just get a zombie shambler here. Take a look at neutral evil. Yeah, there it is. And neutral evil is fine. The next thing is he is alone in a room. I don't want to add anything else to him. I mean, we could add more zombies. That's a thought of adding more zombies to, like, I don't know. I've got to go for some Pirates of the Caribbean watching plans. Heck yeah. Have fun, man. See you, bees. All right. Well, now I'm thinking, like, I might toss some more zombies in there with him. But let's look at building encounters. Building encounters. There we go. So, if I put a moderate, he's up by 2 now. He could be a low threat. He's up by 1 on the players. He's level 3. Because if I make him level 4, Rowan's going to be level 4 or 3. So I don't want to go too high there. I don't want it to be like, man, that fight was really hard. Yeah. Well, it was a good thing we just murdered that Thieves Guild leader afterwards. No. So let's talk. Call him Xanthus. Whoa. Xanthus. Bugbear zombie. Okay, he's going to be level 3. And we're going to make him a brute. So he's got a lot of hit points. Okay? And what I want to do, I do like persistent limbs. Keeping this guy going, like, I'm not sure. Now I'm thinking about it. At level 3, he's going to be a bit harder to crit. And I'd like this ability to come up a bit more often than that. He is not a humanoid. What am I doing here? Undead. Medium undead. Does he need anything else? Have you guys got any more traits? Mindless. Yeah. And zombie. Wow, the zombie is a trait. Look at that. Drop his AC by 2. Yeah. I mean, that's the obvious one where I'm like, oh, drop his AC. That's easy. I probably will do that. Let's give him... the formatting always gets me. Mindless, undead, zombie. And we're going to just take that off. Because... There. Alright. Yeah, I think dropping his AC is nice and easy. They're level 2. I shouldn't account... my math always goes to fighters because I'm playing a fighter and a gunslinger right now. So I'm always like... And the math starts at a much higher point than it should. So what? A level 2 character has an 8. A marshal has like a +8 to hit. So against a 16, we want to get to a 26 and 18, 19 crits. Is that right? Yeah. Add in flanking, drops that down to a 16. Add in the occasional. Are these players going to be? Are these? It depends on who these players are. I have some players like that are like, and well, this armor class reduced by 5 in such a way, we should all just 3 attack this guy. And then other groups are like, I charge him and I attack without doing anything else. Like, no, man, come on, man. All right. Yeah, we do need to put some negative healing here. Am I, is that formatted the way I want? Yeah, cool. Stealing all of this. Immunities. Here we go. I like to put down everything that I know I'm not going to be changing first. Positive slashing. Yeah, we'll keep that. Positive 5. Slashing 5. Very good. Keep him a zombie. Boop, boop, boop. Alright. I like him having a lot of hit points. I like him having a weapon. This guy was a bodyguard. And I kind of like his armor class being high. So if his armor class is high, I don't need... I can probably say sayonara to the persistent limbs. I am curious. Infest with swarming vermin. Makes interesting. Now that is interesting. The swarm is set free. Critical. Well, that's still also another critical hit. So, all right. Now I feel like my first thoughts were to give him an aura, essentially, like this, or destroyed. Yeah. Oh, yeah, that's true. You kill him now all these centipedes come crawling out. Oh, it could be any swarm. Huh. That is interesting. That is pretty interesting. Yeah, you often do get a crit. Again, I'm playing a fighter and a gunslinger, so I see crits all the time. I'm just like, oh, I ended that encounter again. I don't mean to. I want to play. I do. Going back to it, I really like the infested. I like that more. The putrid stench is cool and everything, but it's so basic. Infested does feel really fun. Let me go to that. Let me go to infested because and while we're at it, let's find a. Is that under defense? What is? Yeah, that seems fine. Let me look at some swarms. Let's see. Swarm. Here we go. Oh, you know what? Let's look at monsters. That'll make it easier. Setting. Where? Game mastery? Creatures. There we go. There we are. I'm sliding back into my chair more and more. This week was so long. Here we go. Swarm. And now we sort by what kind of I don't think we should make it super high level. Just make it something pops out, surprises the players. An amoeba swarm, no. Animated silver swarm, no, obviously not. A swarm of rats is fun. Obviously there's like classic spider swarm. Be very funny to have a swarm of bats come out of them. Oh my god, I'm sorry. It's something really funny about that. Spider swarm. It's probably very interesting. I also like rats. Let me look at both of these. Because having extra like phase to the encounter, so to speak, is very interesting. Whew. Filth fever hitting in before you're about to fight the boss. Except what's carrier with no ill effect. Yeah, that's not too bad. Poison. Yeah. You know what? I love the idea of Xanth. Is his name really Xanthus? I just realized we have Vanthus and Xanthus. That can't be right. This is embarrassing. Xanther. I did it. That was me. Xanther. Xanther Bugbear Zombie. Yeah, okay. I'm with Marzul on this one. The idea of it's like you fight the zombie off and we'll give him a weapon. He's a little bit better than the average zombie, and you kill him, and a swarm of rats comes out of his body. That's really cool. You could describe that this guy is like bulging and moving in weird shapes and in weird ways. Hiccups, really? What a time! What a time for hiccups. I'm just gonna lower this on purpose. I'm lowering that reflex, and I'm gonna even lower the will further. There's been a lot of high reflex things in this dungeon, and keeping that low, especially for the zombie. Yeah, I'm not touching a lot of these numbers. I was getting on my own back about this week, where I would just load up Monster Tool and I wouldn't touch anything, and I wouldn't explain anything. And I think I'm going to stick with that. Yeah. That's really fun. That's really fun. That's a really cool way of like, yes, we got him, thunk. Oh my god, swarm of rats. So what I'm going to note this here. Where did I put it? Remake hazard, blah, 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 blah. 29. Make a low 2 encounter. Yeah, I think that's... No, I think low 2 encounter. Include rat swarm inside of Xanther. All right. Gosh, that's really fun. I'm even thinking we could give him an ability that has to do with the rats inside of him. So this is interesting. Where is it? It says, oh, okay. If the swarm is 4 or more levels, so no, yeah, it would increase the encounter budget. Let's look at the encounter budget here. Why do I keep losing stuff? Building encounters. So if I'm adding a level 1, which is 30, to this guy who's 60, that would take us to a moderate. Yeah, you're right, and there we go. Let me make a note of it. Make moderate 2. Yeah, that's fun. I might... No, I don't want to give him a shield, because if I give him a shield, he's already got 2 actions alone. It's just hit, shield. Every player's going to get around that. And it's not interesting. Let's give him a weapon. Like I said, what kind of weapon does Xanther have? Everything's fought with rapiers so far. I want to give him something meaty. I want players to be afraid of it. Maybe like a bastard sword or something. Maybe even a great sword. That would be fun. Ooh. All right. Kind of like the idea of giving him a great sword. What do we got here? Great sword's a D12, right? Nobody uses them. And I understand why people don't use swords anymore. There's not a lot of... look at it's... The value it brings to the table is a versatile trait. And its critical effect specialization does not seem too great on the tin, which is make somebody flat-footed. When you've got other critical specializations, which is like stun somebody, knock them prone, move them, pin them in place, and it's like, you're flat-footed. Everything's flat-footed all the time. We don't need more flat-footed. But I've seen Bullion Bear playing a Flurry Ranger in my Fist of the Ruby Phoenix, and they're using the flat-footed themselves. It's a very selfish build, and that's really cool. That's sort of where I'm seeing that shine. Yeah, I want to give him a great sword. I think that's really terrifying. And some armor. Not that people loot armor and gear off of stuff anymore, but let's do it. Just to kind of justify. Yeah. And a breastplate. It adds a bit of a story to this guy. Plus 10. I'm gonna go with the moderate to hit, but I'm gonna give him the very high 1d12. Let's say plus 5. Whoa, 11d12. Sheesh. Out of curiosity, where does that put my average damage? Average damage goes to about 11. 11.5 is the average damage. For those, for just Marzul, and for anybody watching on YouTube later, the average damage of dice is always going to be half of the die plus 0.5 because math is a silly thing. So essentially, average damage of a d12 would be 6.5 damage. Adding in that plus 5 takes us to 11, gets us 11.5, gets us around to the high. I like that. This advocates for high damage and high attack. And I did kind of just put 10 there on a whim. Average armor class at this point is going to be what? 19? 19 is going to be the average armor class. I mean, this would be a heck of an encounter. I kind of popping that to 12 does feel fun. And if I keep with, if I'm counting this guy as like a fighter in my mind and that he's an expert with this great sword and he's got this plus 5 strength, sure, that maths out. If I have to justify it. Yes. Versatile. P. Woohoo! Great swords. So exciting. Yeah. Alright. Now we've got to get the infested. Let's say Xanther. Xanther is infested with a swarm of living rats. And then we'll take the direct quote here. Where to go? Here we go. And paste. When I don't want to call him he, it's an it now. It is hit with a critical hit or destroyed. Swarm set free. This swarm, that's just called a rat swarm. A rat swarm. A rat swarm is set free. I want to make in a square adjacent to Xanther, or his body. I don't know what to say. To Xanther. His initiative is immediately after the zombies, and after Xanthers. Ta-da! All right, now he is still unique, and I do like that. I want to give him a little something extra. Let's say the rat swarms. People don't think it's infinite rat swarms. Oh yeah. That's true. That is true. That would 100% be a GM going like, it says a rat swarm is released, and it's like, oh my god, we have to stop critting this guy. Don't roll high. Oh god. Yeah, you're right. When is it? Yeah, cool. I want to give him something extra. He is still, let's find the zombie. What's the permanently slowed? Not spider swarm. Go away. Don't need you anymore. Don't need that. Okay. Come on now. Really, did I lose? I must have gotten rid of zombies. Zombie Chandler. What is it? Slow. That's it. It's all slow. Permanently slowed 1 and can't use reactions. Easy peasy. Where's this? Is it under general? Yeah. Cool. Slow. I'm keeping that he's permanently slowed 1. Obviously, it's not a thing I choose. Like, that's a zombie thing. But I could see somebody saying, well, this fight wouldn't be too interesting. Just get rid of that. All right. Yeah. All right, I want to give him something. First off, that speed, 20 feet, I believe. 25 feet. Zombies still move pretty quick. Sure. He's got the breastplate on, but he's got the strength to use it. So, yeah, I'm not going to fight that one too much. Oh, my God. How do I lose speed every time? 25 feet. Now, if he's got a bunch of rats in him, can we make that a defensive reaction for him? Or an offensive, where it's just kind of jerking around crazy-like, and gives the players a little hint that something's up with this guy? Because as it stands right now, his turn is... Oh, he can't use a reaction. So that doesn't matter. I wonder if he can... Huh. Wait, 2 action, like vomit out rats. It wouldn't make a rat swarm, but maybe it would be like he's got a breath weapon of rats. I feel like I've changed the encounter so much already. I mean, this works. This is not a unique though, um, and I don't. It doesn't have to be. That was sort of just something I was thinking of. It could just be bugbear zombie. Yeah. Oh, but I do want to give him something extra. I do. I can't. I can't like leave it alone in my brain. A 2 action, like rat vomit. That seems wrong. Wave of filth. That sounds like a good name. Uh, Wave of filth. Xanther. Belches out a I don't want to call it a swarm because that's going to go back to the like some GM reading it wrong and going like, wait a minute, a whole swarm comes out based on the vomit swarm. Yeah, that makes sickened, I believe. I don't want to see, and that's kind of what I'm thinking. 30-foot cone seems a little bit larger than I want. Yeah, fails saving throw, also becomes sickened. 2d8 piercing damage. Yeah, I think I like that. I was like, yeah, some piercing damage and sickened is good. Yeah. That's one of the fun and also disappointing things about when you start designing stuff. Which this isn't really design, but you're like, I have a really good idea. It could be this, this, and this, and then all it takes is you going, oh yeah, that already exists. So I guess I should just do that. All right. Yeah. Belches out a... Wait, what was that? I was avoiding the word swarm. A scattering of rats that quickly scurry away. Yeah. I want to note so that they're not sticking around. Because the vomit swarms, they disappear. What's this? Yeah, the swarm disappeared. Oh, wait. Yeah. Okay. So, how am I gonna write that? Because I want it to be like a 15-foot cone. 15, is that too large? Yeah, 15-foot cone. Just because zombies can be beaten just by like taking a step away from them, it would be really nice for him to have something a little extra like, you can't entirely escape me. Quickly scurry away. Yeah. This... yeah. Poison... yeah. He's rotting from the inside and the rats are eating him out. That's very 3.5 flavor. Yeah, poison damage is pretty good because he's already got... like adding in any more like texture to these encounters is much more interesting because we've had so much just physical damage. And I know it's low level, but it's so cool if a player has something like poison resistance and they get to use it at level 2, you know? Belches out a miasma of rotting innards. Is that... I'm sorry, innards. All creatures in a 15-foot cone take... let's see. Oh, I want to go to building... I want to... Let me go look at building monsters real fast. Building creatures. And a limited power. Yeah, we're gonna make it limited. We're gonna limit this at a level 3. Here we go. It's not strike damage. No spells. Is this gonna be under strike damage? See, no. This is strike. I want special attack, special design. Here we go. Damage dealing abilities. Area damage. Here we go. Level 3, unlimited use, 2d8. Limited use, 4d6. Do we want to make it unlimited use? I mean, his whole turn could essentially just become that, and I don't really want that. An average of 14 damage, 4d6. I like it. I like 4d6. Take 4d6 poison damage. And at this point, we make that a DC blank, fortitude, basic fortitude. What's the DC? What is the DC? Let me think here. 18. There you go. Thank you. I didn't want to. I was feeling lazy. Like, I could go look it up. DC 18 basic fortitude save. Creatures that fail this save are additionally sickened. Whoa! Yeah. Did I spell that right? Okay. Sickened 1. Xanther can use this ability. What's the breath weapon wording? This is everyone gets to see me. Just cheat. Just cheat. Breath weapon. Here we go. Can't use breath weapon again for. Okay, there we go. Xanther can't use wave of filth again for 1d4 round. I think everybody does it. It just feels weird when when you see it, like when you're doing it in front of everybody else. Sort of like the speed limit's 55 and you're doing 57. I know everybody does this, but I feel like I'm getting away with something. All right, that feels like a very fine encounter where the players kind of get an idea that something's wrong. This is not a normal zombie. And you also get the idea of like, oh God, you know, the woman in charge of this Thieves Guild is real messed up. What a psychopath. All right. I'm going to actually expand this out real fast so I can take a nice clean screenshot. There we go. Whoa. That's not what I wanted. I lost my beautiful thing. No. Yeah, there we go. My beautiful setup. Oh, and of course I've for some reason I shut down my Photoshop today despite the fact that I knew I would need it. Give me a moment there. I'll load that up. Just because it's not that I don't trust Monster Tool, but I've had enough things go wrong where I'm like, to be safe, I'm always going to have this in another spot. Where did I put it? There we go. My file that I've called, entitled, An Unedited Mess. Good. All right. That's the one I wanted to get, one of the ones I wanted to get done today. Oh, I'm not going to do any of the fun stuff, am I? No, we'll get there. We'll get there. Okay. Next thing. We have our showdown, our fight with the Thieves Guild leader. Now, this is something I want to talk about. This whole dungeon sort of treats Rowan and Gut Tugger as the final boss. They are, but the players don't know that unless you start getting into the Sassarine stuff, which I encourage GMs to do, but it's not explicitly stated like it would be in a modern Paizo adventure path, where it'd sort of be like, whoa, that daughter of the Lotus Guild, the Lotus Dragon thieves are real jerks. Oh my goodness, I hear they have ties to the Kalani family. Oh man, they're really making life horrible here in Sassarine. And then you'd feel good for taking them down. This is more like, we gotta find Vanthus. Oh, there's a Thieves Guild in the way? Well, we'll just kill our way through it. Oh, we've killed the boss. Jeez, still no Vanthus. Like, so I kind of want to talk about adding in a few little hints that that Vanthus has been here and that Rowan is an awful person. We'll see. I don't know about that. That's for me for cleaning up later. So this encounter, going back to encounter levels being absolute garbage and worthless, is an encounter level 6. And your players are supposed to be about level 2, perhaps in 3.5, level 3 at this point. So this is useless. I want to make this a severe encounter. I don't want to do extreme. I feel like every GM at this point knows that low level and the words extreme Just don't mix. So let's look. My thoughts were putting Rowan at level 4. She's 80 experience points. And then putting Gut Tugger here at level 2. So she's got a, like I said, a Crested Feldrake pet. Which, oh boy. Let's just talk about Gut Tugger first, because it's going to be the easiest one to convert. So he's a dragon. And you'll notice he's got class levels. He's got 2 levels of Rogue. Huh? Okay. Which means he has sneak attack. And he's also intelligent and can talk. Yeah, here we go. Common, Draconic, Sylvan. I don't know why, but talking creatures give me a headache. Just because, like, the fantasy of that is very strange to me. Because if you saw this as a creature, you'd be like, okay, this is a little baby dragon. I can stat that out very easily. But now that I've got intelligence in there, I'm like, oh, it's a pet, and it's chosen this, and it's got the ability to get class levels. So what it is, how it acts in combat is to provide flanking for Rowan and give her sneak attack. That's it. That's all its real purpose is, which isn't very interesting. And there's a reason why I haven't said, let's just make it a monster from the monster manual, from the bestiary. It's because nothing. I looked through a bunch and nothing really fit. There was drakes didn't really do it for me. Like I truly do want to keep this design intact. That this is a giant lizard. So chaotic evil, neutral evil, small dragon. I like that. Not enough dragons at low levels. Can sneak attack. I just want to get rid of the fact that it has a rogue level at all, or any rogue levels. That seems, obviously it's unnecessary in 2nd edition. It's just a very odd thing. Okay, we got Xanther. Let's get started on the next one. Gut Tugger. Do I want to, Gut Tugger is essentially, it's not a unique thing. I don't want to keep giving unique tags to stuff, because unique, as I said before, actually modifies the mechanics of things. So, Crested. The thing is, we'd be making a new creature, and then we'd be making a named version of it, and it's the same thing. Obviously, it doesn't need unique mechanics. But, that said, I could see it being uncommon. Here we go. We want this to be level 2. It says my brain goes to skirmisher, but I'm going to give it soldier. My rationale for that being is we can always just give it sneak attack and kind of lower some of the damage of its normal stuff. We want it to kind of stand in the combat for a while, and I think a wise team would very quickly take it out. Ruin Rowan's chances of having all that constant sneak attack. Yeah. All right, let me see. It is small. It is a dragon. I want to look at other tags here. Other types. Let's look at drakes. Forest drake. I'm just curious what they went with. Cold dragon? No. So yeah, no, I probably can get by with just drake or just dragon. Does this have anything else to it? No, it's just a dragon. Just a little, not a baby dragon or anything, just a crested feldrake. Oh, they've got all these. Greyhawk is a hell of a setting. All right, common. Well, we have to. Yeah, it's going to be common draconic. Why did that stop typing? Okay. All right, common and draconic. It can talk. I'm going to switch these. I'm going to switch strength and dexterity. These numbers don't matter, but I still get so persnickety about them. Okay. Constitution high, like that. Wisdom. What? No, I don't. No, I'm not. Now I'm not so sure about that. All right, yeah. Keep it all zeros. I'm okay with that. Go a little down on this. Go a little up on the reflex. And I'm going to go, just to keep things in some sort of feng shui, wabi-sabi, as it were, lower the will. I'd probably used wabi-sabi wrong. All right. What we do want it to do... Technically, it could use intimidation without the -4 penalty. That's kind of fun. That's kind of fun. You know, suddenly it's shouting at the players like, well, I can kill you. I will rip out your innards, all that good stuff. Is it any faster than? Yeah, it is faster than the normal person. So let's... Not that it needs the speed. But if I ever use Crested Feldrakes later, I'll have this for reference. 40 feet, is that too much? That's pretty fast. Maybe 35 feet. I feel like that's a silly distinction, but... Alright. We want to give it some claws. We want to give it some tail action. Claws, bite will be our big main attack. Claws will be the agile. And our tail will be... Well, do we even want to give it the tail attack? No, not really. I'm getting comfortable. Okay. It doesn't need much more than that. Jaws. Claw. We're going to give that agile. Finesse. Doesn't really need anything else. Jaws. Let's give it low damage. But oh, no. We want that to be the big hit. This is going to be the low damage. Yeah. All right. And the original one had sneak attack. Giving this thing sneak attack feels dangerous. It's almost always going to be flanking. Give it a growl. Give it a pounce. You know, the ability to leap on somebody. I feel like I'm falling into that trap where I keep thinking about all of these abilities that exist and just going like, can I just map it onto this? Which is fine, which is very good, and it's an effective thing, especially for converting. But sometimes I want to make it stand out. This is not a creature that stands out, though. This is a like a generic fantasy dragon creature. I don't want to give it anything like... I mean, it's a Crested Feldrake. It bites in its claws. Maybe even a reaction to push away with a... I keep going to the wrong picture. Maybe a reaction to push away with its tail? If a creature moves into flanking position, makes an athletics check to shove away, that feels very powerful. That feels incredibly powerful. I don't want to do that. Let's give it athletics and intimidation. Could give it a grab with the bite. Yeah. Boy, nothing here is seeming interesting. Give him dark vision. This is the content people come for. Is there anything else interesting here that I may have missed? It's like, immune to sleep paralysis, sure. It's got evasion at level 2. Okay. Wow, that is very powerful. 30 feet is also just such a nasty... That's such a nasty number when you can only move 25 feet. It's like, all right, I get up to it, and it's gone. Well, I spend my next 2 actions getting up to it again. Oh, man. Sleep paralysis here. All right, let's toss those on there. Not that... Seems silly to add. There's no way people are... Oh, okay. Caveat to another creature. Okay, yeah. Yeah, a creature that ends its turn next to Gut Tugger. It can shove. I like that because I hate the no fun feeling of like, all right, I'm gonna end my turn. I'm gonna walk up to it and I'm push back. And I use my action again to get up there. But if you go in there, you get to do your thing, and then you get pushed back. Okay, I'm alright with that. That seems okay. Special abilities will make it a defense. Make it a reaction. Tail slam. Tail whip. Okay. Trigger. A foe, a creature. Creature ends its turn adjacent to Gut Tugger. Effect. Gut Tugger makes an athletics. I keep writing, so, and I notice when I write this stuff, I write the skill used to do the action, or I'm like, makes an athletics check to shove. But I believe I can just say, makes a shove? Attempts to shove? Yeah. Attempts to shove the triggering creature. Boom. Ta-da! Okay. Yeah, I'm trying to think. It cannot follow. It cannot follow the creature if it cannot follow the creature on a success. Even on a success, it cannot follow. What's the wording for this? This is prime content. This ability does not allow Gut Tugger to follow the creature on a successful shove. Okay. Yeah, I don't want it to just suddenly get a lot of mobility out of this as well. Okay. Yeah. I don't think it needs anything else. This is just all it is. Let's give it a... Yeah, high attack, high damage, sure. High 11. That seems way too high. Building... What? That seems... What? Level 2 creature? Level 2 creature is going to have plus 11? Ability modifier, sorry. Skills. Safe items, yes. Armor class, Saving throws, yes. That is something I want to do. So I mentioned... That seems like a lot. I'm going to put it to 10. He's going to be hitting very often with flanking. 1d8 plus 4. Oh, I shouldn't be doing this. I shouldn't be doing this, like... Constantly checking to make sure all the numbers align. Piercing damage. There we go. Alright, and then 1d6 plus 4 slashing. And you know what? I think I can... Yeah, alright. So, I was thinking that if my Fridays become truncated, or my Thursday night streams get shorter because I've got to go do a lot of dental work on Friday mornings for me, I might just turn that into talking about design stuff and make them much shorter, maybe like an hour to 2 hour long stream. I don't expect people to be like, hey, yeah, I'm super into this. But just talking about GM advice and how to design encounters, how to design adventures of your own. Not that I love APs, and I almost exclusively run them, but I also think it's very important for GMs to know how to adjust things, especially if they aren't working for your team. And how to be able to make your own is really a part of that adjustment of learning to make your own encounters helps you to adjust APs or modules or anything, and as well as making your own homebrew stuff and knowing how to do that helps you become a better GM at the table. So taking a look at Gut Tugger now, that looks fine. That looks did we want to give him sneak attack? Yes, we do. We want to give him sneak attack. Let's keep that. Sneak attack. I want to get it right. Why did I look at it like that? I'm looking at these like the worst way possible. Skebs. Ta-da! That's all it is. I just can never remember these little things where I just want everything to be right. Gut Tugger. Is it? Let me make sure. Is it all one word? No. Okay. There we go. We've got a Gut Tugger. Deals extra 1d6. It deals 1d6 extra precision damage to flat-footed creatures. So this fight would be pretty cool for him to be hanging out in. Boom. Alright, toss that in my giant growing duck. Okay. Now, on to the real problem. On to the real difficult one. God. I haven't talked about the story up until now, but we'll do that on the bigger stream Sunday night, I suppose. So we've got Rowan Kalani, and she is a 3.5 NPC, and we can see it. We're going to be seeing lots of these stat blocks. She's a level 3 rogue and a level 2 bard, CR of 5, but if you've played a lot of 3.5, you know that certain classes together, you mean, I'm a level 1 fighter and a level 1 wizard, I'm a CR2. Doesn't really work out that way. And I think that the bard levels here provided a way for James Jacobs to make her weaker while also having her at the right amount of experience, or giving her some other math fixers, so to speak, to give her higher saving throws, etc., etc. So the bard doesn't bring a lot to the table. Like, she has countersong and fascinate and inspire courage. She's not going to be using. We can kind of get rid of the bard stuff. Okay, that's obvious. What she does have, and I do like keeping, is some spellcraft. She has some spellcasting ability. Obviously, she's also very, very roguish. She's going to be very damage dealing. She's going to do a lot of damage with sneak attack. Giving her... Ooh, I like having her have some poison. Yeah. But what do we do? What sets her apart? The thing is, base stats as she is in the 3.5 module, she's not that interesting. She is a rogue that has spells and is really not going to use them in combat. Wondering if... Alright. So let's just start making a rogue, and we're going to add some fun stuff to her. Ooh. Rowan Kalani. Now this is where I think, should I be using the unique tag? Because she is definitely a unique person. We're probably going to give her something unique to her. Did I spell that Rowan wrong? Nope, I did not. Good job, me. Neutral evil. Make her level 4. And I want to make her a skirmisher. Okay, keep her... Magical striker. Hold on. No. Skirmisher. Did I hit that and a bunch of stats changed? Alright, so she is going to be our boss. She is going to be tricky. Can she No, pre-buffing for an encounter really is not going to be fun in 2.5. Huh, okay. Oh my goodness. I am very tired. Honestly, I'm at the point where I'm like, well, I should get some more water. Alright, let me think about this. Acrobatics. Deception. I want her to be doing a lot of feigning stuff in combat. That'd be fun. She's got Gut Tugger to help her out with flat-footed stuff. Stealth. Thievery. Sassarine lore. That will always frustrate me that it doesn't put it into... doesn't put it in correctly. Can I add more here? No. See, that's the thing. That'll get me. All right, let me get some more water. Let me think about this for a second. Hold on, I'll be right back. Okay, all right. Figuring out what Rowan does. I'm not too worried about doing more lore stuff. That's just more for flavor. So deception. I want her to be. I want her whole shtick. She's going to show up. This is actually adorable. I kind of want to point this out. Where is it? Where is it? Where is it? Oh no. Do they put it in the conclude of the adventure? Essentially, it says, oh, it's very much assumed. Here we go. It's assumed that Rowan Kalani escapes the players, and she returns in the third adventure. I very rarely have an NPC actually escape from the players. I think we've got snap leaves now. Let me see. We think they're put in. What book were they put in? Character guide. Ooh. Perfect. Perfect. Giving her a snap leaf is very good. When you activate a snap leaf, you get the benefits of Featherfall and a second level invisibility. What's the triggers you begin to fall? That's right. That was the kicker there. So that's not quite what we're going to be using to escape. So, whoops. Let's look at talismans. I wonder if there's anything. What I'm saying is, we want her to be sneaky and deceptive. We're going to give her a way to escape. Invisibility. Let's see. Yeah, snap. No, there's not going to be anything there. Because we do want her to come back for book 3. Because first off, if she's killed in this adventure, you'll need to make a few changes to see Werven's wake. You actually will have to change book 3 or adventure 3 of this if the players do what they kind of set out to do and kill her. My group did not actually kill her. She did escape. How does she escape? I forget. Here we go. Potion of gaseous form. We don't have that anymore. Do we not have that? We don't have that. Gaseous form. Oh, well, we got a gaseous form. Now, hold on. See, that's the thing. You could just put in incredibly high level items and high level gear as solutions into things in 3.5, and it's A-okay. I'm not so sure about this. Next said something earlier in one of the streams about making a talisman. Scroll of gaseous form might be okay. Yeah, there's still like the difficulty of, in combat, pulling out the scroll, reading the scroll, and then one player being like, "Excuse me, how?" Like, There. So the point of verisimilitude now comes down to just eschewing it entirely, where it's just like, no, she has an ability that lets her just do this. She just turn like that's the two ends of the spectrum that we've got here. Okay, we've got she can turn into gas. A human with only a little bit of magic trading can turn into gas. And the other end of the spectrum is, we have to. She's got a scroll, and she has to pull it out, not get hit by attack of opportunity, and she has to have the ability to actually use it. We're assuming she's got trick magic device. So maybe something in between is what we're looking at. Because I like answering things in the system, and when I can't, I feel a little guilty if I make something in the system to answer it, like a last chance medallion where she's she's struck and she turns into gaseous form, or she activates it. Because I mean, then that exists, and it's such a like a dumb trope of the bad guy. I'll see you again, fools. Pshoo. Yeah. All right. I'll put that aside for now. Okay. That is a. I'm gonna put it in my problems for later. Here we go. How does Rowan escape? Okay. Cool. Reaction to bite when Rowan is flanking. Glad we didn't go with that. That actually seems way more powerful. Alright. Rowan Kalani. So what I want her to do is feel tricky. I want her as an opponent to feel like someone you cannot trust. So the obvious way to go is deception and feign. What if on a successful feign she maneuvers somebody into position? I see. Nothing about that feels unique or interesting. I also want her to feel a little magical, like a spell trickster. Can she cast light into people's eyes and blind them? Like, not a magus, exactly. Let's see. Rapier, okay. Let's give her a +1 rapier just because. And again, my own OCD about these things. I did go through when I was making the other NPC blocks, and I went and manually turned everything into italics for magic items. I'll be doing that again because I don't know why. All right, so let's give her something that she can use her deception and that feign. I think if you're using feign to maneuver people, that feels just way too powerful. Like, oh, cool, I get to make you flat-footed, sneak attack you, and move you into position that I like. That feels too strong. Can we? These stats are very nice. Sugar. But going back to the having a few cantrips that she could use them offensively, but in different interesting ways like a spell trickster would. I like that a lot. Let's do her rapier while I think about this. Make it a 2d6. We're in the big leagues now. 2d6 plus 2? That seems very weak. That's incredibly weak. Yes. Yeah, that's really weak. Yeah, I think we have to throw verisimilitude out the window and do moderate. We're gonna have to just. We're done with sticking to numbers anymore. And make her. How many rapiers have I used now? And I'm still like forgetting. Yes, absolutely. Marzol, you get some sleep. Enjoy yourself. Thank you for stopping by. You stuck around like the whole time, so thank you so much, man. You have a very nice one. And enjoy the weekend. It's coming up. And I will be working on this. Agile, finesse. I believe rapiers also get deadly D8. Deadly. Woohoo. All right, yeah, deadly disarm finesse. I was super wrong. Deadly D8 disarm finesse. All right. Deadly D8 disarm finesse. See you, man. All right. There we go. Verisimilitude's out the window. We hit level 4. Nothing matters anymore. Let's take a look. With the stress of no viewers, I can just very casually worry about stuff until I upload this onto YouTube, and then someone's like, why did he just sit there in silence for the last hour? Because I was thinking about how to use magic in fun ways. What I want to look at, how often do I say this? Let's look at some occult spells and look at ways we could use them offensively in ways that would be spell trickstery. Daze, blah. Ghost sound, blah. Light, what is it? Dancing lights. Do we have? Yeah, we have dancing lights. I wonder if I could have a way where she can use dancing lights to dazzle somebody. So here, I'm going to call this ability, just for now, Spell Trickster. Okay, and I'm going to make it a 2 action. Okay. Occult. Doesn't need more, probably. Give her Dancing Lights. Give her Mage Hand. And, what are some other interesting... Shield is a very classic. Obviously, you're gonna want to have shield. Okay. Oh, Madman talks about conversion in what? Why is it not showing up? Oh, because I don't have her modeled as a. Well, that seems strange. Let's see. Don't change the numbers. Don't change it. Change the numbers. Criminy. All right. Change the numbers a little bit, but I'll look at them and tweak them around a little. All right. So weird. Sometimes this tool is exactly everything I need, and sometimes I have to really grapple with it. Cult spells known. She is technically a bard. Whoops. Prepared. No. Spontaneous. Spontaneous occult spells. Occult spontaneous. Everyone's gonna watch as I do this. What's the name of the wizards? I've forgotten all the wizards' names. Let's look at an adept. Occult spells known. Not fair. Not fair. I had that right. This occult spontaneous spells. Or is it spontaneous occult spells? Whatever. Spontaneous occult spells. Okay. We're keeping it. We're keeping it. We'll fix it in post. All right. That's gonna drive me insane. All right. So we've got. Oh, I closed down the spells. So what I wanted her to do. Detect magic. Yeah. Ghost sound. Yeah. Yeah, none of these are really I want her to be magical. I want her to keep some of that magic, but not a bunch of it. Spell Trickster. All right. All right. Rowan. Let's look at this. Rowan cast Dancing Lights. What? Dancing Lights? This thing, it lied to me. Ah, here's how you make italics. Alright. But does it use this drop down? Nope. Gotta find the guy that made this and thank him. Because this is actually a really great tool. Directly in the eyes of her opponent. Alright, so she casts dancing lights directly in the eyes of her opponent. Yeah. Blinding them. They make a... I'm just going to write down the thoughts in my head. They must make a DC 18? Really? 18 level 4? Guess she's not super powerful in that regard. 18 will's fortitude. Fortitude save with the following effects. I am so tired from this week, and I am exacerbating things. Sitting here, no advertisement for the stream. Just was like, I'll just do it in See, whoever comes, comes. It's a good measure of how Twitch reaches people with just following. And also, it's Thursday night. I have worn myself down. Was I looking up? Oh my god, my brain stopped. Yes. Let's look at spells and see. Fear. Here. See the wording here. No wording, it must attempt a will save. Okay. It must attempt. I like that. Attempt a DC 18 will save. Oop. Critical success. No effect. Success. Alright. So if they succeed, the target is dazzled for 1 round. Like, I don't want this to be blindness that she has at will. Is dazzled till the... If I put the start of their next turn... Oh, did not mean to delete that. Did not mean to close that. If I put it dazzled into the start of their next turn... All creatures and objects are concealed. I mean, you can't make a... yeah, start of their next turn. That seems... because you've succeeded. Next turn. Failure. The target is dazzled for 1 minute. This seems very powerful. I'm writing it kind of just off the top of my head. Getting a rough draft down, getting anything out first. So if the juices aren't flowing, you make them flow. All right, critical failure. The target is blind for 1 minute. Is it blinded? I think it's actually blinded. Yeah, the condition is blinded. All right. It's blinded for 1 minute. Okay. There. Let's look at dancing lights so I can add some more traits to that. Oops, still looking at level 1. I have made evocation light, yeah. Okay, evocation light occult. There we go. So I like this as a way that she's going to still show that she's magical and very interesting in that way, but it's not something that she relies on heavily. She does really want to just be hitting people with her rapier. Obviously, we have to give her her sneak attack. Sneak attack. Ooh. Rowan deals 1d6 extra precision damage to flat-footed targets. Boom. All right. Do I want to give her some more? Like, she should technically have 2nd level spells. DC plus 8. That's okay. Okay, this is odd. Formatting always makes. Formatting. There we go. What is this? Oh, I guess spell attack. Plus 8. What is this formatting? What is... Oh, it's for the other spells, right? No? Oh, that's going to drive me insane. These little tiny things drive me absolutely insane. All right. Do we want to give her more spells? I don't think she's going to really be using them, is the thing. So I want to give her little stuff. Little stuff. That could kind of help her out in the thick of things. Give her Expeditious Retreat. No? Really? Is it not a... is it not an occult spell? Really? Okay. Didn't expect that. Alright, let's see. Anything, these little, like, side utility spells that we want her to use. Lock, lose the path, magic aura, mending. Nudge the odds. Overselling flourish. Well, I don't want to give her a firebrand spell. It feels very rude to put in spells from specifically Galarian lore stuff. Spirit Link? Could be fun, but no. Give her a True Strike. Hello. Yeah. Yes. Let's give her True Strike. Maybe. What you want to bet? Nope, that still is not it. That still isn't it. It's gonna be. Nope. I don't know why I'm so focused on this. All right, give her True Strike. Isn't there a spot where I should say how many spells per day she can cast? Because she's spontaneous. Oh boy. Now I want to look at all these other APs. That's going to be driving me insane. All right. Rowan, I might, at this point, I feel like I'm hitting a wall with her. This could honestly just be all you need, but I don't think that's fun. I want to give her more spells. Let me give her some more spells, and I'll table her for later. And then we'll try and work on some other stuff. Okay? That'll be nice and easy. I want to give her something that'll help her escape. So Animate Dead is not fitting for her, but it's fitting for the story in which she often uses it, apparently, with a wand. Anticipate peril. Last breadcrumbs. Jeez, just none of this is making me feel right. Maybe just giving her fear. I mean, it's a little basic. It's a little basic, but it's fine. And the formatting of this is driving me insane. I feel like there's something wrong. Something's not right. And I give her 1 second level spell just because. Blur could be very interesting. Blur could be a very interesting spell. Invisibility, actually. Let's give her invisibility. That could hopefully be her escape. Okay, that seems fine with me. The escape is much harder, but she'll have it. Okay. Rowan is not done. We're not done with her, but we'll get back to her later. I'm not entirely thrilled with how this came out. I want to adjust the numbers. I want to first. Geez, Louise! I got sneak attack having an action. I am really tired. I hate to say it, I'm probably going to cut the stream a little bit early, so I'll do a little bit more. Cut the stream, and we'll put this on YouTube, and we'll come back on Sunday with a much clearer. Not that we didn't have a clear plan, but we'll come at this stronger on Sunday. Hopefully, I'll have cake in me by then. All right, now, so I've got Rowan. Ish. Let's take a look at the other stuff I wanted to do. We made our stat blocks. I really like how the zombie bugbear came out, the gut tugger. Rowan will get to her. Don't want to do this treasure yet. Again, I'm still not on treasure. I do want to talk about Sassarine. Okay? So, There Is No Honor takes place in the town of Sassarine. Okay? I've talked about it. I've mentioned a few things, but I haven't really gone into it. So we should talk about what the hell Sassarine is. So, this, by the way, all this looks very Magnamar to me with the Irispan. But Sassarine is a jungle city. It's like a coastal... jungle city seems very reductive. It's a nice little town, port city, hidden between these cliffs where they produce a lot of coffee. It was discovered by a worshipper of Ouija's and her lover Terracnian, who is a worshipper of Cord. So they came out, they found this place, they were guided by Ouija's, goddess of magic, to find this place. Cord, god of strength. Sorry, I didn't really go over that if you don't know Greyhawk deities. But unfortunately, Sassarine, the cleric's name was Sassarine, cleric of Ouija's, was killed by a dragon before she could truly found the town. So Terracnian took the charge and then kind of built up this nice little hidden sea cove in the middle of nowhere, safely hidden away from prying eyes, where they could just kind of practice their beliefs in peace and grow their city. Now, I said before that, like, Ouija's was an evil deity, and that's not true. I was wrong on that one. That she's a goddess of magic and trickery, not necessarily evil. Much like Cord is a god of strength and battle, but not necessarily evil in that way as well. So the town was founded and ruled by this religious dogma, and it still is reflected in the town today. I say today, but how long has it been around? 700 years ago. About 700 years ago. So this is not what I really want to look at. Let's look at... Ooh, I wanted to make this into a PDF, and I did not. Sugar. All right, hold on. All right. Let's do it this way. Oh, I had it. I had it right there. Oh, well. Let's look at a map of Sassarine. Is this... That's going to be the small image. No, there we go. This is fine. Ish. No, that's really not helpful. Fantasy Maps by Robert. Okay. Alright, let me zoom in a bit. Ooh. Kind of hard to see everything too well. They detailed everything. And I say they. This is a James Jacobs thing. When he put this out somewhere. He put this on the Paizo website originally when this was all coming out. I want to say he did everything, because this feels like he did everything. This feels like a James Jacobs was given free reign to have fun with this. Look, they have the names of the streets are named. We've got every little dot here, every little number is a place. Which you might think, well, that's a little crazy, but we'll probably be here for a very long time. This adventure path takes place in Sassarine. You would be wrong. The first and second adventure take place in Sassarine out of 12 books, out of 12 adventures. So, do we need to convert Sassarine? No. No, we don't. We'd have to convert a little bit of it because the players will have to interact with it in some way, or they should be interacting with it in some way. So the big one here, very obviously, is what it is. It's a large city, populations, boy, it's been a while since I've looked at a stat block. Let's pull up. Let's get out the Lost Omens. I love the Mwangi Expanse for this, because they've got good stat blocks. It's a somewhat recent book. Let's find... I've been looking at this a lot because I'm running Strength of Thousands right now. I say right now, I've been constantly running Strength of Thousands since it came out. So I want to find Nantambu. I'm hoping I'm pronouncing that right. Yeah. Oh my gosh. How far down do I have to go here? Is this bookmarks? That's embarrassing. I was looking for bookmarks. Oh, nobody. Don't laugh at me. All right. So here's what we got. This is what a settlement looks like in the Pathfinder stat blocks. Comparatively, again, let's find Sasserine again. Okay. Wow, that was a pretty good guess from my part. About I was going to put it around an Nantambu size, with a settlement 10, population 15,000, population 15,000. My God. So we can make that a level 10 settlement. For those of you who don't adhere as closely to the rules as I do, or are not like constantly locked into how you run things, or you have your own way of doing things, generally players cannot purchase items over a settlement's level. As well as you'll see here with Nantambu, we have a special trait that the school has, and yeah, it gives us a good breakdown of the population. I'm going to talk about the population as well today. Oh my goodness, because it's just that kind of stream. All right, so what I want to do is get out my template tool, log in, there we go, and we're going to make a new thing. So we're going to call it Sasserine. Am I spelling that right? It's got 2 R's? Nope, 1 R. Okay, it is going to be a neutral, sorry. This is, yeah, wow, oh my God, this maps out the Nantambu very well. It's a neutral good city. Yep, population, 1,500. Wow, look at that. Move this over so I can see it some more easily. 10. No, not going to be that. Settlement. Settlement. 10. Cool. Cool. I'm stealing everything. Neutral good. City. Boom. Ta-da! These things, they make it so much easier for me to just turn my brain off sometimes. What else we got? Government, population, languages. Let's do that. Government. Population. I say it makes it so easy, and then I get frustrated. There we go. Oh, see, hey. Italics works on this one. Making me have to go and pull out Photoshop because I can't stand something not looking right. All right, what else we got? Religions, threats, and then our trait. Woo. Religions. Was it religions plural? Yes. Threats. Yeah, and we got threats. I would love it if people really started playing Savage Tide, and Sasserine is a very, very interesting city, and you could base an entire AP, you could do an entire campaign centered around this town. And I think that was the goal. And you'll see, even in the Savage Tide Adventure Path, they do set another side mission here in Sasserine to really take advantage of the story here. But it doesn't have a part to play going forward. I want to talk about what sort of trait we'll have in a bit, but we'll think about that one. And I'll just put it here. Trait name. There we go. Okay, and then we get into the demographics. Okay, important people. Cool. Important person. And I will have to kind of figure those out. I've always seen it's always been 4. Done. All right, here's Sasserine. Sasserine is governed by the Dawn Council. Where is... Here we go. Sasserine is governed by a council of 7 noble families known collectively as the Dawn Council. Ta-da! Is there okay. It just says Democratic Council, so I'm wondering if I can just put Dawn Council. No, that doesn't seem right. That doesn't seem right at all. I'm curious. What do other? Let's see what Jaha says. Republic, yeah. Kibwe, Representative Council. That might be what we actually want to go for. Representative Council. Well, this is not. It's not a representative council, is it? Boy, am I going to do something embarrassing and look up government in Pathfinder 2E? Look at that. Yeah. Yeah, I don't know. I was wondering if there are. It is just a flavor of kind of represent it. Noble council? I want to call it like a noble council. Council of nobles. Whoa. Council of nobility. Hmm. Democratic. No, it's not a democracy. There's no democracy in nobility. Um, yeah. Yeah. Okay. We'll keep it like that. Ruling council. Hey, Jade, I was wondering who else was here with me. I was like rambling. I was like, oh. Ruling council. Yeah, that's probably. That feels good. All right. Population's keeping the same. It was 15,600. Let's look at that. Whoop. 15,650. Very close. And. Did I? Did I really? Yep, I absolutely closed closed my own thing. All right. Virgin Representative Council. Yeah. Okay, yes, this is where I get into the break down the population a bit here. Okay, same thing here. We've got Greyhawk. Greyhawk does not have all the fun, cool, interesting ancestries that the Galarian has. It's not like Leshies, and we've got. Well, I mean, even this is still pretty like not super exciting. We've got humans, elves, half elves are broken down. Oh, do some quick math because we'll put the half elves in with the humans and the half orcs in with the humans. 78. There we go. 84% human. Okay. Halfling, gnome, dwarf. Yeah, that all fits. Okay. There we are. 84% human. I've already forgotten all the numbers. All right. 5 halfling, 4 gnome. Okay. 5% halfling, 4% gnome. Da 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 da. What else we got? 4 dwarf, 2 elf, 1 other. Okay, 4% dwarf, 2% elf, 1% other. I should probably check if all those make sense. Do they fit? Yes, good. Okay. There, Sasserine. Languages. It's gonna say over here. Taldane. Yeah. What is the language of Earth? Okay. I'm just curious. 5 main languages for the Flaneus. Yeah, I want to put common. It seems just so. I'm just gonna put common. I'm gonna put common, and we're gonna see if there's anything else. We'll come back to that. Common, Elven, Dwarven. Come back to it later. I'll put a note. Like, oh boy. Look at languages. Nobody needs to be here for the language stream where I'm like, what were the languages of the Flaneus in Greyhawk? Okay. Great. Religions. Now this one I do know. This one's a big one. This is a very religious town in a strange way. Each section of Sasserine is dominated and kind of shaped by their religion. So we've got Cord, god of punch and stuff. I'll put these in alphabetical order later. Oh. Sorry, my wife just messaged me, making sure. Oh. Okay. She got to do something for my wife. Very quickly. She needs a picture of something. I'll be right back. Oh, man. Alrighty, there we go. Okay. Sorry about that. At least my little pauses are quick. All right. Cord, god of strength, is very, very well represented. Saint Cuthbert, the god of being a real buzzkill. He's the god of law and order, and he's not well loved. I think they even say, because you could say so much more. You could say more things that wouldn't be so acceptable in 2023. That is like he frowns upon lustful behavior, and they're trying to reform the town because there's too many people smoking dope and having sex. Look, I mean, St. Cuthbert, he's even got control of the cudgel district because the Cuthites, I believe, would walk around with cudgels and essentially beat up people that they considered sinners. We've got Flaharn. I know how to pronounce this, but I always get it wrong. Farlon. Yeah. Was the god of, if you were a child like me, falling asleep. I hated this god because he was so boring. He's the god of roads. And I like that idea now. Langhn. 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 Farlon. God of roads and travel, which got much cooler in Galarian because we've got Desna now, who's the goddess of dreams and travel and adventure, not roads. Boring roads. Alina Mara, who we talked about quite a bit already. Whoop. Have we talked? Yes. Talked about Alina Mara, god of rogues and bards and trickery, and there are a lot of gods of trickery. The Greyhawk was a trickery setting. Pelor, god of the sun. What am I? Did I just? Come on now. Oh, these tiny little tabs are getting me. No. There we go. Whew. All right. Pelor, and of course, Ouijas. Pelo. Alright, so those are the gods that are represented in Sasserine. They're also the ones that just kind of have their fingers in everything, in the noble houses, in everything. The religions play a really big part in Sasserine, so we want to have them there. Threats, I'm going to put a few here real fast off the top of my head. Scarlet Brotherhood. Question mark. There are a bunch of assassins that kill people. It's referenced many times throughout this that they have plans for Sasserine. They also freed Sasserine from the merchant princes. And I don't know, apparently, my Greyhawk lore enough to know exactly what the merchant princes do, but they kind of came in. They realized this was a really awesome place where you can make a lot of money. So 10 years ago, they decided, not 10 years ago, for a very long time, they decided to wipe out all information of Sasserine from maps. Nobody could know about this place. They would be the only ones that could export all the stuff out of here. And then the Scarlet Brotherhood came in, murdered them all, and sent them all packing. And then noble families kind of rose back up again. Now, what do we want to do with a trait here? We haven't talked enough about. I don't think that we've talked enough about Sasserine to be able to say this is what the town defines the town. Generally, with traits, I like to make it a little extra bonus that you wouldn't get anywhere else. Obviously, this is very particular to Sasserine. We have things like not that. Where we go? So. Here we go. Everyone talks. You get bonuses to, deception and stealth checks in Anthusis and in Verdrin. They get penalties. Nantambu has the Mwangi. The Magambia, which gives you more spellcasting services. Usaro, I can't imagine what that would be. Demonic power. Evil creatures gain the effects of protection from good. Okay. Yep, that makes sense. Mazzali. geez, I mean, so, boy, that's something to think about. All right, but generally, we have Sasserine. All you need is level 10 settlement to be able to run the game. The game is somewhat playable at this point. Look at languages, come up with trait, pick 4 important NPCs. Wow, I am getting tired. Important. My brain is slowing down. All right. I'll get to treasure in a little bit. Honestly, once I finish the conversion of Rowan, once we do some of this trait stuff and finish up Sasserine, again, going to get another picture of that. Another print screen there. Toss that on. Because I don't trust these things. All the time. We can actually start playing this. We could get this to somebody to play. I say get it to somebody because I have 7 games that I'm running. Okay. All right. I don't want to worry more about Sasserine. What I do want to do... Look at all this stuff I still have to kind of fix up and convert. I want to make a mini player's guide. Okay? So when I say mini player's guide, that would typically include ancestries, backgrounds, and relevant campaign information. Watching me spell poorly in real time. Yes. But we've only done one adventure that we've kind of converted. And I don't want to put the horse before the cart. I don't want to make backgrounds for a story that we haven't fully talked about yet. And I don't want to give all the campaign information just yet. What I want to focus on today, if people want to start playing this, is some ancestries that fit into Greyhawk and backgrounds that'll serve you well. So let's scoot down. I'm going to say I want to separate out the ancestries we have into suitable, not suitable, and prohibited. Okay, because there are going to be ancestries like the automaton that just don't exist in Greyhawk to the best of my knowledge. So, and we might, speaking of, I'll put deities here as well, because might have some more work on there too. All right. So let's do, I'll turn this into something much prettier later. Suitable. Let's do recommended. Recommended, not recommended. Spelling. It's only one C. Silly me. All right, recommended. And then we're just going to go with not suitable. There we go. Okay, so fun time. Let's just look at the ancestries. Go through them. Dwarf, elf, gnome, skipping over goblin, halfling, human. Boom. Easy. Okay? Most of the commons. Okay? We're going to just dwarf, elf, gnome, halfling, human. Okay? I'm going to say, taking those goblins, not recommended. Now, when I say not recommended, I mean the people of Greyhawk have a different opinion of goblins than the people of Galarian. And a goblin is not going to be suitable if you're running it that way. I'm going to put a preface, and I'll write it right here. Preface. This is for Greyhawk. What you and your players enjoy at your table is not subject to the opinions of this writer. I don't know. We'll make something a lot nicer for a final copy. Whew. Okay. So, as our commons down the down the down the line, Goblin, Halfling, Human. Okay, uncommon Azarketi. Not touching it. Azarketi. Sorry, we're gonna say not suitable. That is a very Galarian thing. I'm sure you could convert something over, make it, just, or even reskin it. Catfolk and Oerth. I'm curious. Catfolk? Tabaxi, huh? Found in the far reaches of distant in 3rd edition. Well, this came out in 1993, so, Tabaxi in the world of Greyhawk. Well, okay. We've got not recommended. Say Catfolk. Tabaxi. Okay. Keeping going. Fetchling. Just out of curiosity, I don't think there's a Fetchling, but Shadowfell. Yes. What were they? Yes. All natives and creatures. Shades. Shades are mortals who have infused their bodies with shadow stuff in order to become immortal. That's very different, actually. That's very different. Yeah. I'm gonna say not suitable. Fetchling. Sorry, Fetchlings. Fetchling lovers everywhere. Now, not working. Gnolls. Gnolls exist. Absolutely. But would not recommend it. No. Okay. Oh, moving on. Gripply. Ooh, Gripply. This is the stream has now just become me just saying names and going, yes. Gripply did exist. Yeah, because I definitely remember. Oh, Gripply actually kind of, I think, show up in the adventure. So I'm gonna put I don't want to be this guy that says this is a very classic adventure and you should play classic, core rulebook ancestries, but that is kind of the way it's leaning. Hobgoblin, Kitsune? Hobgoblin. Again, these are evil creatures in Earth. Earth. I think it's pronounced Earth, but do we have any Kitsune? No. I'm okay with saying no. I think if you have a group, if I had a group of players, I would just say, stick with these, and unless you can really pitch me a not recommended, and I would keep the not suitable off the table. It feels weird doing it, but Kobold definitely exist, not recommended. I should probably justify why they're not recommended, and in a larger one I will. Leshy did not exist. Or does not exist. Leshy, lizard folk, the Uruxi. No, Nagaji. Ooh, we do have Nagaji, I believe. But they look different. They are, no, maybe not. The name sounds familiar. I think I'm thinking of something different. Orcs, rat folk. Again, orcs are evil. And there's a lot of talk about alignment. And this is why you can see that change over the years where we were like, okay, we cannot have the alignment of evil defining a race. And so 3rd edition was edging away from that. 3.5 was edging away from that, but still was like, yeah, you're not gonna be an evil character in this game. You can't be an orc in this city. And then we hit. Obviously, there were still players playing monstrous racers all the time. So, yeah, now we're talking about getting rid of alignment, and that changes the whole conversation. And it also changes people converting these old things. Having players show up as orcs in Sasserine is a very different vibe if you're trying to stick to that era. That sounds wrong. Stick to that, respect the lore of the area. Ratfolk and Greyhawk. I want to say yes. I want to say yes, they've got to be in the Flaneus, but I'm gonna put it not suitable, and I can revisit this later. Tengu, no. Vanara, nope, no. I'm writing it, and I'm like, let's double check to make sure. Kenku, I believe, is what they would be called. Look at me being dumb. Look at me being first and second. So yeah, they should. I don't know where they are in the Flaneus, but let's put them in. All right, Tengu, Kenku. I don't believe there are monkey people. Also, I have yet to get any Vanara players. Monkey. If I just type monkey, am I going to get anything? No. As somebody who had a lot of Vanara players back in first edition. All right, these are rare ancestries are likely going to be all not suitable. Anadi, Android. It feels like it's Anandi in my head, but it's Anadi, isn't it? Okay. Anadi, Android. What did I just see? I just saw it and my brain just turned it off. Automaton, Conrasit. Okay. Automaton, Conrasit. Flesh Warp. Now, I'm going to just put Flesh Warp into not recommended. Because they can exist. They can be there. Not Flesh Warp. Goron. Yeah. Kashiri, Poppet, Shisk. Do I want to put I'm going to put Poppet up here. I can always revisit it. The idea of a living doll brought to life could exist. I don't recommend it. But, yeah. Kashiri. I'm sorry. Kashrishi. Sorry, I spelled that wrong. That's embarrassing. Kashrishi. Shisk. These are very Galarian. I would love it. I love seeing more Galarian things. Shuni. I always ask if I spell it wrong. I do spell it wrong every time. Skeleton can exist. Sprite, Strix, Vishkanya. Yeah. Sprite, Strix could exist. Vishkanya. Alright. Alright. We've got me rambling on about ancestries that'll fit with our little mini player's guide. This is something I could whip up into a PDF to put along with the first adventure just for people to get started. And we're nearly done. And gosh, if I get some time on Sunday, I would love to have this finished. Adventure 1. Throw it out for people. I don't know if anyone on the Reddit would be interested in playing a game of There Is No Honor, but we'll see. Okay. And heritages. Real quick. I'm going to make it real quick. There's not that many heritages. I mean, there are, but... Boop. All right. Heritages. Recommended. How do I spell everything wrong? Recommended. Not recommended. Not suitable. A lot of no's that I'm putting in. It makes me feel bad. We're gonna go obviously half orc, half elf. Big yes on that one. I mean they were base classes. Asmir, yep. Asimar, sorry. ASMR. ASMR. And Aphorites, huh? I mean, I don't have any problem with any of the planar stuff, come to think of it. Maybe not recommended. Aphorite, Changeling, Dampier is not suitable. It's not going to tell this. I don't know. This is 3.5. The characters that people made in 3.5 were so insane that the idea that I'm limiting anything is silly. Duskwalker, Ganzi, Ifrit, yeah. I feel like I'm like swimming upstream in this, and I'm putting too much of my own like feelings about stuff, because I do love a game where it's just like, elf, dwarf, and fight, like human, yeah, done. But that's not really the case, because all of these could really exist as what are they called? The planes touched. What are they called? Oh, planes touched existed, still exist. Yeah. Ifrit, Oriad, Sully, Suli, just one L. All right. Boop. Okay, my energy levels are really low. I'm like, Sylph. We do, Tiefling should just be common. I'm fine with that. They'll exist in the area. Undine. Okay. Well, now, like, having just Dampier here all alone, now that feels wrong. I don't think there should be any that just, you can't. Well, maybe Reflection. Maybe Reflection. Beastkin. Reflection. Sure. Okay. Man, oh man. So if people want to start playing, we do want to kind of steer them towards Greyhawky things. And we are going to have the chance to convert an entire ancestry if we are crazy enough to do so around Adventure 5 with the Phanatons. If we are getting to that point, who knows? Given that I did zero advertising for this stream and then sort of just mumbled my way through a very tired week, I do promise more streams in the future will be a lot more high energy. All right. Talk about backgrounds. I don't want to make backgrounds just yet. I want to find some backgrounds that are fitting for living in Sasserine. And so what I want to think is skills, thievery, and stealth. Let's look at thievery first. Okay. Hounded thief could be very interesting. Guns and gears, though. So the hammer, saboteur. Street urchin. Yep. Street urchin. I'm just say these are backgrounds that will help fit into the setting of Sasserine. Okay. More to come later. Yeah. Street urchin. Okay, that's a good one. That's only 6. That seems odd. If we're talking athletics, we want religion, actually. Let's talk religion. Acolyte. Yep. Acolyte is very good. Acolyte, pilgrim, yeah. Street preacher is funny. Wandering preacher is also pretty cool. Pilgrim, wandering preacher, I like those. Because we want the idea that our characters here are not coming from a great place. It's not that Sasserine is bad or anything. It's a place that you come to and you stumble upon and you just live there. So street urchin, a pilgrim, a wandering preacher, these things make sense. Pilgrim might not actually make sense because records of this place have all been destroyed by the merchant princes. So I'm going to replace it with acolyte because we do have a lot of fun religious stuff going on in Sasserine. Speaking of, let's look at Arcana. Academy dropout, nah. Magical misfit, maybe. Mystic Tutor, no. We're not going to touch any of the other stuff, really. Spell Seeker. Hmm. Don't hate it. I'm not in love with it yet. Farmhand, yeah. Yes. I'm going to put like 10 of these backgrounds. Okay? Just so that if anyone wants to play the game, any background can work with this AP, especially since we haven't built anything specific for the AP yet. Anything can work. I'd like to steer people towards some backgrounds that'll help them get into the feel of the character and the area. Junker is actually kind of interesting. Laborer, Martial Disciple, yeah. Breast Gang, Runner, Sailor, yep. Sailor is going to be a huge one. Sailor is very highly recommended. There will be some piloting. There was some sailing lore. Song of the Deep, Squire, Thrill Seeker. Yeah, Laborer is maybe where we're going to go. So this part of the world has a lot of what are they called that really suck? Plantations. The difference being is that what separates a plantation from a farm? I don't want to know, because I feel like I'm going to walk into some territory that I'm not excited to learn about right now on stream. Let's look at some more crafting, artisans, artists, yeah. Gunsmith, hook claw, junk collector, magical merchant, mechanic. None of these are really like jumping out at me. Tech reliant, tinker, toy maker. Nothing's jumping out there as like that's something players would want or like fits the area. Society. Oh, of course. Of course. Actually, we should be having courier. No. Emissary. Noble. Here we go. So I would love to design a very specific, much like Kingmaker has, and I believe Agents of Edgewatch has a background kind of like this, a nobility background that is broken up by the different nobilities that give you different bonuses. I'd be very interested in doing something like that. Refugee, no, not really. Actually, servant would be very, very interesting. Actually. Teacher, translator. Yep. Okay. Okay. I feel like I should be doing this by. Well, that's okay. I would like survival to be up here. Beast blessed. No, bounty hunter. Kind of like that. Farmsteader. Sure. Free spirit. Yeah. Free spirit hunter. Lore seeker, historian. Yeah. The thing is that I like the idea that this. Well, I mean, I don't like Sasserine is a place that is not like what. Boy, this town. I really wish I could describe it better. I should. What I'll do is I'll make a PDF of this and I'll throw it up. I'll throw it up later. Next stream, I'm going to write it down right now. I'm going to throw some PDFs up for people. All right. Sasserine PDF. Learn along with me. Sasserine PDF. What is done so far? And I think that's all right. There are, historians that go here. That said, where is it? Where's the library? So the library here, what they're doing is very carefully curating all the information here, which makes it a difficult place to get anything done. This place is kind of held at a time very much on purpose. Transfer belonging. Trailblazer. A Trailblazer here is actually pretty good. Just because we want to have characters that want to be getting out. Like, that's the thing. We want these characters to not be staying in Sasserine. The only one that has a reason to stay in Sasserine of these backgrounds would be the noble. But being a noble, they already have a reason to leave, which is getting out. Just, I'm a noble. I can do that. Curiosity. Let's look at lore. Okay. The only one that gets lore training is the Droskari disciple, which we are not going to... This feels like an incomplete list. Any medicine, any curiosity? Back alley barber fits for Sasserine. I'm making this place sound worse than it is. It's not that bad. Undertaker. Anyway, I think that's fine. This is a good list. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. It's a good starting list for anybody that wants to start playing the adventure and gets right into it. And they have, hopefully, what I'll have done for Sunday's stream. They can get into the deities. Okay, that I'm just gonna put a link here because I made this a while back. Conversion. Oh, I gotta go through my docs for this. Docs.google. Okay. Where did I start converting these? Conversion notes. I have a lot of stuff here. So I converted all the deities already. And I was so excited. I was like, look at all this work I did on this. I was so proud of it. And then I went and I read right here in Sasserine, Church of the Whirling Fury. We've got another church to kind of do. Temple of St. Cuthbert. I believe St. Cuthbert has broken up their religion, their worship to 3 other gods. So I'm like, I might have to just convert a few more deities if I really want to get things correct. Is it here? Where is it? It's going to drive me insane. I'll find it later. So I will instead just going to link it. I'm just going to link it. Okay. What am I doing? What my brain is just off. Ta-da. Conversion notes for Savage Tide. And relevant campaign information. I'm going to put a few dots here. A little quick bullet list, and then we'll probably call it an hour early. All right. So, players will spend time aboard a boat traveling away from the city Sasserine. Big point. You don't stay here, so we're going to be leaving very quickly. Demons will play a large role throughout the campaign, as will characters who know how to survive. No survival skills will do well here. So we'll have a lot of emphasis pointing that way, that we are going to be going out into the wilds. Let me think. Anything else we really want to hit? Like, I think relevant campaign information. Those are the big ones. Spending time on a boat. Demons are going to play a large role throughout the campaign. I mean, a large role starting maybe adventure 4. So I think you'll be level 7 or 8, and we're going to start getting demon action in a horrible landslide of demons until the very end game. You will be working for a minor noble towards the beginning, but will eventually be expected to guide yourselves to take the reins after some time. Okay, there. That way, players are not going to make super headstrong characters that don't take orders from anybody. I mean, you are going to be starting essentially as a bodyguard. And you're not going to make a character that's going to just be, subservient the whole time. So that's there. We have, with this, with our Sasserine Convert basic and with the basics of what we've written here, should I finish this up potentially by the next stream, we can throw something out for people to actually start playing. And if people do start playing, I would love to get reports back and like, hey, this really worked, this was a lot of fun, or hey, this was awful, how could you have done this to me? We can go back and fix stuff. So I doubt we'll get anybody. I'll be very clear, be very honest. I doubt we'll get anybody who's like, yeah, I'm ready to play test this and report back to you. But you never know. And if you don't get anything from not trying. So I'm gonna stop this early, just so I can get some other stuff done on this. Because look, we've converted. Oh, that's a small. Sorry, I've got to do a few other things here. But yeah, we've got Sasserine essentially done. Mini players guide, boom, boom, and the deity list. We have to do treasure. I have to finish up Rowan. Beyond that, just cleanup from me. So, and then we can start on Adventure 2. Exciting! So as I said earlier in the stream, Sunday I'm going to be back. We're going to do the next portion. Hopefully we'll get right into starting Adventure 2. And if not, clean that up. And next Thursday, I will be having to take some time to go to the dentist's office. So I'm just going to turn that into a different stream. That stream's going to be talking GMing and talking about how to design encounters and how to design moving forward. Because it's a very different beast from converting, which is sort of just taking somebody else's work and trying to adjust and wrap your brain around it into a new way. While designing is very much taking your ideas and fleshing them out into something that works and is fun, very importantly, fun at the table. So that's what we're going to do next Thursday. But yeah, I hope everybody has a very nice weekend. And I know you're going into your Friday, but enjoy yourselves, and I will talk to you later. Bye-bye.